put this up on the iBang if you want to be part of it. What is it about Americans that the whole world loves Formula One, soccer, Tour de France, and we do not join in? Hicks, I'll go to you first. What do you think that is?
I think it's xenophobia. We don't like things that we're not familiar with, and we have our sports like football and baseball and basketball, but we're happy with them. So if something new comes in, we don't want to learn new rules. We don't want to become familiar with it.
So if you're not raised that way, you do not like it.
Yeah, I think.
I will tell you this though, and this is the difference between us and the rest of the world. I don't know whether you watched the NBA draft last night.
I didn't catch it.
Canadians, Russians, Africans, Asians, Germans. It's becoming this world sport, and they're treating us like the Premier League now. You know what I mean? But I don't know whether Americans are catching on to the fact that the rest of the world is in love with basketball and slowly catching up with us. Now, is it going to happen next Olympics? No, probably not the Olympics after that. But 20 years from now, I could see us being the number 2 basketball thing because we don't always pay attention to what the world's doing. Xenophobia is what, a European?
Just anything. There's anything not from America. Anything outside.
If it's
of our country.
un-American, we don't like it.
Yeah.
See, I think it's a prejudice in the form of if we didn't invent it on this continent, we don't want to get into it.
We invented cars, though. So Formula One, why is the rest of the world into Formula One and we're not? And it's a very international thing. And I didn't know much about it until I watched that documentary. But they go to all the beautiful places, and then race. You know, it would be like racing in Miami Beach or something. You know, like like you shut the town down. It looks like a great party.
Yeah, you know, I've never watched any car racing, but if I were going to start, to me, it would be I think I would find Formula One more interesting than just a track where, you know, it might be a very big circle.
And you're saying because they use the city?
Because they use the city, the landscape changes, and it just seems like there's more interesting things to see. I can't imagine why anyone who liked car racing wouldn't like both, though.
I saw one of those that was done down in Florida because Paul Newman was going to be part of it, and a friend of mine was shooting it. So I went to hold cable for them, you know, just so I could be down there. And I saw Paul Newman's partner get killed. And here's the weird thing. Jesus. I was standing there when Paul Newman got out of his car and found out that his partner got killed. And I said to him, "You believe this shit?" I go, "It was such a nice day. Now this happens." I go, "Remember in Cool Hand Luke? You were so fucking good at that."
Bring up his other movies while his friend died.
Yeah. And I went like this, shaking the tree balls, shaking the tree. That was fucking amazing. How many eggs can you really eat?
As long as you didn't tweet right after.
But it was this was pre-Twitter. Yeah, pre-Twitter. It was a pre-Twitter age. But Formula One. So this is the biggest thing in all of Europe, South America, and Asia loves it.
Everybody loves it,
and we don't. Well,
Antarctica
doesn't.
It's definitely one of the biggest sports in the world. Mike loves it. But Mike has whatever the opposite of xenophobia is. He just loves to the fact
he has an anti-American phobia.
Yeah, if America doesn't like a sport, that intrigues him, and so he'll check it out.
But I also can't stand that he acts like I love soccer, but I won't pay attention to Team USA. Come on, dude.
Well, now he loves the Chicago Fire. So
yeah, sure. If you're nice to him,
that's being a troll.
Thank you.
He's trolling American soccer.
It's not trolling. He likes it.
Nope.
That's why he won't make a cronut for everybody. Is that what they're called?
Cronuts is the hottest, newest shit here in New York City. One place has got them, and they sell out almost immediately. They only make
only 200 a day.
Why isn't anyone else making them then?
Because somebody else invented them.
Yeah, but it's not like you have a patent on it.
That's probably true, too.
We tried to get some this morning, already sold out.
Well, let's get a recipe going and make our own.
I don't like the word try. I like do. I agree with Yoda on that one. All right, what about the bicycling? I mean, we had the best bicycler in the world.
I think it was Lance Armstrong, but people didn't really like him. And then, like, for men's soccer, I guess there hasn't really been, like, you know, one guy who we can, like, go behind and like cheer for him. So.
Tons of them.
Yeah, we got some guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
We
know
have some
anything
great
about
guys.
sports.
Team
so.
USA is coming on great in soccer. They really are.
But it is like Hicks said. Don't want to take the time
fuck,
to
it's
learn
all
the
about
rules.
Hicks.
It's like the metric system. The rest of the world jumps on board. We don't have it here. We didn't come up with it. We don't want to take the time to learn it.
Well, it's weird because
But
there's.
why should we?
But there's like
Should we?
hate for it. I understand saying like I'm not involved.
But we have hate for things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Because they think other people, like I've had people say to me before that people who like opera are just showing off and they don't really like it. And there are people who are like, well, why? When you try to watch soccer, people will go, hey, you know what would be better? And you go like this. Look, they don't want it. This is the most popular sport in the world. They don't need you to make it faster. They don't need you to score more. Because we're always going, how can we score more in soccer? And you're like, the world isn't looking to score more. They already love the game.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that Fez is bringing up, we don't want to learn. Why do you learn the sports that you do love?
Because I find them interesting, and it was because my father would take me.
It's what it all had to do with when you're a little kid and you learn it without thinking about it, and now you feel like you have some knowledge of that sport, but that isn't, you didn't take an interest in that sport. It was shown to you as a kid, and other men would be into it, so then you would start and pick up on it, and you would feel more like a man. I'm surprised that soccer it's actually pretty popular in this country, but now we're on to the fact that at least a couple generations of kids have grown up with soccer being the primary sport that they play first, because it's easier than playing football, basketball, and baseball. It's certainly easy than playing baseball. When you talk about a game that you start to fucking swing at a bat when you're like 2 or 3, right? It takes you about till you're 10 or 11 before you're actually fielding the ball, making plays.
Understanding how to make the play.
And knowing what position you should be going, who's covering what. It takes about 10 years of playing before you start to play on the level that even starts to look like baseball. Here's Eric. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, y'all. How's it going?
Yeah.
You're right, Ronnie. World soccer, or U.S. soccer is getting there. You look at our players up top who are, it's basically the guys who are playing in Europe and playing in these big leagues. The more of those guys we have, the better our soccer gets. And we're getting there. We're still a ways away, but we're getting there. But what I wanted to say was, and I don't have all of the facts as to who wrote this book or whatever, but it might have been Tim Kirchin. There was a book written by one of these ESPN guys where they talk about the fact that when our country was founded, up in New England, there were these conversations and these boardroom meetings, if you will, where there was a focused effort to distance ourselves as a country from everything British. And that largely had to do with sport in the culture. And so that's why we have no cricket. There's very little rugby. And they basically spoke out against football as the Brits know it and came up with our NFL or our American football because they didn't want anything to do with these British guys and their soccer and their sport culture.
Yeah, there is a lot to be said on the fact that we had a revolution against England, but of course Canada didn't, and they don't exactly love soccer either. I mean, we're ahead of them when it comes to soccer. But it's a good point. Why should we include ourselves in the world sports? What if people say NASCAR is better than Formula One? What's wrong with that statement?
Well, we don't have to, but what fascinates me is that people will just, have so much, I refuse to even find out about it or get angry when they hear other people interested in it. Now, for me, with soccer, when I learned how popular it was everywhere else and that the fact that we didn't like it at all, I had to check this thing out. And now that's how I feel. I would hear about the Tour de France every year, but I had no idea
but be
that so
honest,
many people.
Do you like any of those sports as much as football? Because you're a football person. You're like Fez. You're almost a one sport person.
I'm getting there. The biggest obstacle for me to be more knowledgeable and in tune with soccer is just that I find I have a hard time figuring out the schedules and figuring out when things are happening.
Here's the thing: you're not even a baseball fan.
No, I don't like.
I mean,
baseball.
that's your national pastime, baseball, and you pay no attention to it. And then you're
that's-
like, hey, how come you guys won't watch people ride around on a bicycle?
That's based on checking it out and giving it a chance and then just not taking and and I've tried multiple times. I've gone back within the last few years and watched a baseball.
I feel like I've given cycling a chance.
and that's fine. Then that's absolutely fine.
I saw it once. Here is the Brooklyn Blowhard. How you doing, Blow?
Hello, everybody. There's a misconception in this discussion. People don't realize it, but soccer is growing leaps and bounds. If this was 10 years ago, I would agree with this discussion. But there are pro franchises popping up all over. You figure millions of school kids play soccer every day. The game is more popular than ever. NBC Sports Network just signed a big deal to televise soccer. It's getting huge. And like I said, there are franchises popping up when the European
I will tell you this, though. I am much more of a fan of the international soccer than I am watching Chicago Fire against
without
the
a
Denver,
doubt.
whatever. And I do think that's how they need to build it. But I love international sports. I don't care what it is. If it's one country against another. If they had Formula One racing and it was Team USA, I would watch that. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking beat them other people.
I agree. That would definitely make it more interesting. And I agree with you, Blowhard. It's definitely getting bigger, but there's still an awful lot of. It's still small compared to everything else, and there's still
it's
so
getting
many
bigger ratings,
people.
though, than a lot of sports.
Do you know how long it took to grow football?
Yeah, no, but
No, you
there's still
don't.
so
You
many-
don't realize that sport was around in the 20s and even earlier, and really took until the 60s till it got enormous with TV contracts in the 70s before it took over.
And I think
Ronnie, recently Fox, the network,
Yeah.
televised on Saturday afternoon English Premiership games, and they got higher numbers than a lot of hockey, a lot of sports that we think are okay, but this Premiership numbers, and then when the friendlies come, when these teams come to play in America, whether it's the national teams, maybe it's the Bundesliga from Germany,
Yeah.
the Italian league,
They sell out.
They fill up these stadiums. People are starving for soccer, and now they're bringing back the Cosmos. The Cosmos are back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm just saying that there is.
They don't have a stadium.
There's a big interest.
there is a big interest. No, my point really is only that if I say to someone or put on a Twitter that I'm watching a soccer game, I will get an enormous amount of comments back of people like angry, like, what are you watching that garbage for? Oh, soccer, you're one of those people.
And you know, HTG, you said you have a problem with scheduling and stuff. Stick to one team in one league. Go to the league's website, and you'll have no problem.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
should
absolutely true. But
follow Liverpool.
Pick a team
That should be
you
your
like,
team.
And just follow the websites, the fan sites. There's thousands of fan sites around the world, especially, and I'm a fan of the Premiership. My neighbors are diehard soccer fans for English teams, and every Saturday morning or Sunday, they take the subway into Manhattan, and they go to a sports bar, and the place is packed because their team is playing that day.
We now have several
Yeah.
soccer ballers that do giant business in New York.
Then when the English games are over,
been
maybe
one,
there's
right?
a Spanish
Yeah.
league game and even a Norwegian league game.
no, I know that. But, like, if you follow Team USA, you'll suddenly find, you just found out, oh, they're playing today.
Go to the
What?
website.
I didn't know. We haven't played in 3 months. I didn't know there was a game coming up today.
That's because you got to follow it.
Yeah,
you
but
got
have a
to.
fan club,
when
they
there's
have a
big
huge
gaps
fan
between
following.
the games, you're not going to go onto a website every day. I just think it could get a little bit better.
I would say that a sports fan is going to follow it every day. If you want to be a baseball fan, you got to check the box scores every day. You can't be, a casual fan is not really
Well,
a
if-
fan. If you're a fan of any sport, you honestly have to put time in.
The only difference is with baseball, it's baseball season. There's going to be games played from this month to this month. And with soccer, it doesn't quite work like
Oh,
that.
they'll tell you that in the Premiership League. It's over now. And now the teams are doing some friendlies and traveling around.
And then they do international and that. That's why
Right.
it feels like
So-
it's not over for you.
So when you say, you know, but you need to, if you want to follow those all around, you would, by your advice, pick a team in each one of those leagues, and then
It's
know,
up
if
to
I haven't
you.
picked a
that's
team.
right.
You
Whatever
know, I
you-
don't have,
When they're
other
playing.
than Team USA, I don't have a team that I
You-
consider my
Sunday
team.
You
morning,
gotta get
I
a
could
team.
Watch the Mexican League, and
I'll
I
get
could
a
root for
team.
a team, and it's see, for me, it was built in. I grew up; it was ethnic. It was all blue collar ethnic because I belonged to a Norwegian soccer club, and in Brooklyn, it was very ethnic. We played the Italians, we played the Greeks, we played the Swedes, and that's how I got into soccer as a young kid. Unlike a lot of other people, but now that it's getting more mainstream, you can just go on the internet, just go to the Premiership and
know.
see who's playing friendlies. Go to, like I said, all the information is there.
No, I
The
understand,
US
Blard. I know that to watch USA, and I know to watch Argentina.
You
which
gotta
I
listen to
enjoy.
them. You gotta follow. You gotta go to the website. You gotta
But
follow.
I know how to go to.
There's-
I
You don't know-
think
you don't
I
go to
know
the
the
website.
internet
Look,
even a
it's
little
the
bit
internet.
better
You don't
than
know how
Blard
to
does.
Why are you getting mad? You gotta go to the
Information
website.
superhighway.
Go to the
All right,
website.
I'll go to the website.
Like, yeah, what team do you want to say? Yeah, there's www. You had to put HTTP
Okay.
in,
All right.
Then what?
and then just go to this thing and
Go to the
follow
website.
along.
Colon
All right.
Why did that aggravate you?
backslash.
Because
He's trying to teach you how to follow the team.
That's
But
not
here's
my
what
point.
you got to get a team, go to the website and follow them. You're not doing it. You're
I'm
not-
not shopping for a team.
Then-
I just enjoy the sport. I have a couple teams I
But-
watch.
but
In the
let's-
other leagues, I don't have a team, but,
But
I like to
if you
follow.
were telling somebody that said they wanted to be a football fan, would you tell them to follow the NFL or to pick a team? And if you really want to know personalities, you can only follow something and then you branch
Well,
out.
I wasn't really asking Blowhard for help as much as making a point. But yes, if someone came to me and said, "I want to learn, football more," I'd sit down and sit with them and explain to them. Well, here's when the season is, and here are the teams that are playing. I'd talk
the
to them. I
website.
wouldn't say go to the website. What the hell?
You got to
is
go to the
that?
website.
PremierLeague.com.
You don't know when it starts.
It's especially like that with college football. 112 teams. I've heard a lot of people say, I can't follow college football. There's just way too many teams
Go
to
Eagles.
go after.
Go to the
But
website.
like,
Most people don't. Most people are not college football fans. They're fans of one single place, normally the state school from where they live. And that state school, let's say, bring up one of them, like Nebraska, right?
Sure.
You could go to their website,
All right, hold on.
find out when the games are being played.
Right, corner.
You don't know about
When you
that.
what website?
You don't know about
What's
websites.
the website?
What? It's always amazing to me what gets somebody red ass so fast. Like, hey, Blowout, I know. Don't fucking tell me again. To go to the website. You were pissed.
No, I'm not pissed.
You have passion then.
I'm passionate.
There's a button that says clubs. You can pick one.
See?
Well,
It's that
Arsenal?
easy.
it's a handy website.
That's
Chelsea?
easy.
Looks pretty good.